they are very big shoes to fill. And everyone was fully aware of that, and that may be part of why it's taken a while to bring to the screen. It's a book that was written before anyone landed on the moon, before any of the most amazing things that have happened now had occurred. So bringing it to the screen after all that's gone is an undertaking everybody respected, and I think we approached everything in hopefully trying to be bold and not intimidated by that, but to follow groundbreaking filmmaking and storytelling. The world has moved on 50 years later from when it was written, 65 years later. But, well, we shall see when it airs. Hopefully that scale of thought is there, the scale of courage.
How many changes did you have to make from the story in the book to fit a 3-night miniseries format?
Well, the book is written in 3 nights, in 3 chapters, in 3 parts. It was written, however, over a scale of time, because it's from a short story, Guardian Angel, that he wrote many years before turning it into the novel it is. It's inspired by the book. I think the screenplay takes on a lot of themes from the book, and is a screenplay of that novel, but turning into 3 2-hour films from the novel. Other strands that hopefully incorporate the themes of what Arthur C. Clarke was getting at back in that time are incorporated. I think it was written about or reviewed at the time as I can't remember how it's put. Every viewer with a conscience should read this in a time of such anxiety. And I thought when I first read the novel how pertinent in a time that we're in now. You couldn't be in more of a time of anxiety than the world is now. So I hope the scale of, as I say, the scale of thought and the thrust of what he was trying to write is incorporated.
Now, is it a strict? Was it written as with a strict miniseries in mind, or if it does well and is well received, could it be extended, or is this just going to be it?
In network television, in cable television, anything is possible. Bobby can be brought back from Dallas. So
That's true.
So I couldn't answer that question. In my mind, the novel concludes, but okay. Who knows? Okay. You can prequel, sequel, anything can happen.
Can you talk about the casting process, how you assembled this talented cast?
Yeah, in casting's always a fantastic part of any filmmaking, in that a character, particularly in a novel, in a piece of fiction that exists, you have an image in your mind of who that person is. Everybody has an image of who that person is. It's always going to be different. It's always, if you have a favourite book, but you take, certainly as far as I'm concerned as a director, you take that on board, and then when you go through the casting process, it usually is fairly apparent very quickly who works for you, and then you encourage, I think, and embrace what they bring to that part, as well as what is written on the page.
Is there a moment or scene in the film that you're really excited for the fans of the book to see?
Many. It would be difficult. It would be difficult without spoilers to pick scenes.
Well, we are at the novel, so yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Exactly. Anyone who's read the novel knows what the story is, what happens. I think there's quite a few surprises and moments that make you very aware. I come back to, it's really pertinent to now, when the book is about, when the human race discovers the ability to go beyond our galaxy, somebody, whoever's out there, decides to show themselves and go, well, maybe that's not such a good idea, but here is a wonderful world, and they make a wonderful world, supposedly for the human race, but how pertinent now when the world is in chaos and it discovers the ability to go to other worlds that maybe we're prevented from that.
The context that the novel was written in 65 years ago, I think, was something like that. Do you think, I mean, Arthur C. Clarke was so almost prophetic about so much stuff.
Yeah.
As you were filming this, did you kind of catch glimpses of just how, it's like you had these aha moments as you were going through the filming? It's like, wow, how could he have known?
It's quite extraordinary what he knew. There are many interviews with him on film, before computers, before... he was extraordinary in knowing where we're going, shockingly so. And in the novel, he brought a number of those elements in: loss of control, loss of power. There's a wonderful interview with him where the first major computer is running. I think it's in the 70s, and the interviewer is saying, so you're telling me every home is going to have a computer, which is about the size of this room, at home? And he's saying, yeah, well, it won't be like this. It will be a book. You can talk to it. You can order your theatre tickets. And they were sort of looking at him as if he's completely crazy. And here we are, exactly as predicted. Yeah, there were moments where some of the scenes ran very pertinent to now, and it is amazing how much of the anxieties are still with us today.
When it was developed for television, did you have like Syfy in mind, or were you approached by Syfy to develop it, or were there other networks that...
I was approached by Syfy. Having worked with Matt Graham before, I suppose through Doctor Who and Sherlock, and it was having worked a lot with Stephen Moffat and worked with Matthew. It was a sort of a marriage that was terrific to happen. It's very different. It's very different to both Sherlock and Doctor Who. I hope it has a grounding of truth in. I was very keen in the filmmaking that in performance, in tone, it has a great truth rather than a fantasy science fiction. It has a great truth and a soul to the anxiety.
Well, this is a science fiction show. Is it more grounded in like reality, or is there a lot of special effects? And
obviously, in science fiction, there's a good deal of special effects. It is a show with special effects. It's not a special effects show. It's written and seen through the eyes of the people it affects, of the characters in the novel, that this extraordinary event, how it affects their lives and how it affects them interacting. So as I say, more than a fantasy science fiction, it's being seen through the truth of characters who live through it.
Is there, something like Childhood's End, because obviously 2001 was a film for the theaters.
Yes.
And this is a film for the small screen. Obviously there's a difference in the level of intimacy between viewer and the experience. How did you use that or find that to be helpful in telling the story?
There is a big difference from when 2001 was made. In 2001, nobody speaks for the first 25 minutes and 42 seconds. I think in television now that would be seen as tricky,
to say the least.
I think the executives would have a meltdown As I say, to me, the encouragement to everybody working on it was to be as bold every day and to try and not be stifled by the intimidation of what's gone before. But it is a different era of presenting drama to an audience.
I think there's also like an intimacy to the smaller screen too, don't you think?
Yes, I think it's combined a lot now. I think you can see things on. If it affects you, if it makes you laugh, makes you cry, makes you scared, the way you're seeing it now is less differential.
Excuse me, I have to switch now.
Thank you.